One of the things that I want to talk about is you assert that classroom control is a myth. When we talk about classroom management, that a teacher having control of the class is a myth. What do you mean by that? Because classroom management is really talked about in pedagogy, the art and science of teaching. So why is it a myth?
It's all imaginary. And this was taught to me by one of my mentors, Vanessa Bryant, great English teacher at Plainfield High School. Sat me down and showed me the truth. And she made it plain. She said, look, Plummer, it's 20-1. It's 30-1. The students are always in control of the classroom. Anytime they want to do something, good or bad, if they all decide they want to do it, it happens. You lose. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing about you as an individual that, because I'm a teacher, I have a teaching degree, that you'll walk into a classroom and those students will listen to you. They run the show. But what I always tell young teachers is, look, here's what you have to understand. They outnumber you. The math doesn't work out in your favor. So what you have to do is that you have to offer them a deal. You have to present to them the idea that you're going to give them an experience, information, skills that are so valuable, so useful, that they'll be willing to surrender their power to you in order to get it. That's the trade-off, because you're not scaring anybody, especially our kids have gone through a lot. You are not intimidating. With your little college degree in your briefcase, you're not scaring anyone. You're not going to scare a kid into listening to you, calling security on a kid, sending them to the principal's office, writing their name on the board. Right, all that stuff, none of that is a long-term solution to anything. In fact, those are all bad things. By the way, teachers, if you're calling security and sending kids out to the principal's office, just know every single time you do that, you make yourself look weaker, because what the whole class sees is that you can't do this on your own. You need to call for reinforcements every time there's a real problem. But you can't scare or intimidate kids into listening to you, and you shouldn't want to. There's two things you have to do. You have to offer them something of value for them to do, to be a part of during the time they're in your class. And the second part, which is the end part of knowing your students. Remember, we started by talking about knowing their historical journey. But it ends, though, with knowing that student in the classroom. You have to have a relationship with that student. You can't yell and criticize some random stranger. Think about you, teachers, as an adult. How would you feel? You got up one morning, you put on an outfit, you thought it was amazing, you thought it looked great, and some stranger walks up to you and says, "Oh, that's the most hideous outfit I've ever seen."
Right.
Like it's literally hurting my eyes to look at you. I think I'm going to be nauseous. Like, you should be arrested for wearing that outfit. Are you going to take that critique from a stranger and be like, "Oh, well, thank you for sharing your opinion. I'm going to go home and rethink my outfit for today. Thank you for being so open." A handful of you might be that secure, but most people are going to get defensive. You don't know me, because you don't know why that person's talking to you.
Right.
Why they're saying those things. But if you have a relationship, if it's your best friend in the world that tells you the same thing, that outfit is hideous. You're embarrassing your whole family line by wearing that outfit. Right? It's different because you have a relationship with that person. You know where they're coming from. You know that they're not saying that to hurt you. If they're delivering a critique of you, a criticism of you, it's because they care about you and they want you to be better. They want you to be safer. But when a stranger does it, it comes off differently. So you have to see the children in your classroom as real people, individuals that you have to have a relationship with. I always tell my students, I took all these education courses. I'm still like in $40,000 in debt. And I learned one useful thing in an education course. And that is, you can't teach strangers.